Welcome to Behind the Lines, coming to you from the socialist, Marxist lines of Washington State. It's a crazy liberal petri dish for the rest of the country, folks. Stay up to date with all the great news right here. So the LA County Sheriff's Office has created a super spreader task force. This is the SWAT team that's going to pay you a visit if you're holding or at a large gathering. And on New Year's Eve, they detained over 900 people, arrested and fined nearly 100 during New Year's Eve raids. And this is crazy because Los Angeles County just got a new prosecutor, and they are one of these large cities that has opted to not prosecute numerous misdemeanors and even some low-level felonies, including sex offense felonies. And now you've got them going out and arresting people for gathering when they're not supposed to. This super spreader task force is comprised of hundreds of detectives, patrol deputies, and specialized response teams. The coronavirus lockdown enforcers crashed 5 large New Year's Eve parties in Los Angeles, Malibu, Hawthorne, and Pomona. The illegal celebrations were held in speakeasy-type locations, such as upscale homes, vacant warehouses, a DoubleTree hotel, and shuttered businesses. This is a report from The Blaze. And I guess a news station went along with them on many of these parties that were broken up by police. And they're saying most of the offenders appeared to be in their late teens and early 20s. But over 900 people were detained, 90 were arrested and were given citations. And law enforcement announced that they had recovered at least 6 guns. And according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, he says, I quote, "I have made it clear that we will seek out and take law enforcement action against all super spreader events occurring anywhere within Los Angeles County. The goal of these enforcement actions is to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and the risk to our vulnerable populations." It seems just over the top, does it not? I mean, law enforcement kicking your door down because you're having a gathering because a bunch of adults decided that they were okay with getting together and having a gathering. It just seems like this is crazy to me. And you know, I'm sure there were some people who tattled on these people, some people that had inside knowledge that these parties were going to occur and then called law enforcement. But you have to wonder about these tracing apps that all these states have come out with, that people have willingly downloaded, and state has said, oh, they're not going to watch you, this is just to gather data. But I know here in Washington, around Christmas and New Year's, they came out on the news and said that they were concerned because they were seeing a lot of people moving around. So in other words, they are watching what you're doing. And what easier way would law enforcement have than to get on and check these apps and just look and see where you've got large numbers of people who have this app on their phone gathered together. You know, this is a surveillance tool. They may not want to tell you that, but this is definitely being used as a surveillance tool to see where people are at and go out and take care of these parties. The Los Angeles County Mayor Eric Garcetti last month told his constituents to expect more COVID-19 lockdowns, going so far as to say it's time to cancel everything. Folks, I think we're going to be seeing more of this in other states, not just California. And it's a little frightening that law enforcement is being used in this way and that this is being treated this way. Yeah, so I'm a little surprised that law enforcement is just going along with this so easily. Where's the police union telling the city that their officers aren't going to do stuff like this? And where are groups like the ACLU? Why aren't they challenging uh, actions by law enforcement like this? You've got these counties that aren't prosecuting criminals that are actually committing crimes. I think these laws that have been issued by governors as proclamations are questionable laws, and I don't know that they really should be being enforced by law enforcement. I think they're more civil order than a criminal law. And when it comes to civil orders, police generally don't get involved in those. They generally will tell you that's a civil issue, you have to go to court for that. I think these COVID restrictions would fall in the same category and shouldn't be enforced by the police. But I guess in these bigger liberal cities, you're going to have this issue. And I'm sure it's going to trickle down to other places. Anyway, you should be aware, if you've got that app on your phone, you're more than likely being surveilled. If you've got an iPhone, it was automatically downloaded to your phone, and I believe it was activated several months ago with a service update. With Android, you've actually, I'm pretty sure, have to go in and update it or download it yourself, at least for the state app. Now, if there's some other one that may have been downloaded, contact tracing app, then you're going to have to go into your settings and shut it off if you don't want it to track you. I know I did that with my Android. So it's not just to gather data, folks. They are using it to see where you're at and who you're with and how many of you there are. And if you're in cities like Los Angeles, I guess you can expect the task force to come kick your door in and either take you to jail or cite you, search you, anything else they find they'll charge you with. You know the routine, so be aware. Alright folks, I hope you have a great day and be safe out there.